How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Congresswoman Maxine Waters attacking black men who vote for Donald Trump. Now, I had to cover this story because I'm black, obviously. I'm offended. I'm triggered. But beyond that, this is a deep story. Okay, I'm going to talk about Barack and Michelle Obama. Remember, in 2016, when Hillary Clinton lost, whose fault was it? My fault, the black guy's fault. Not so much the black woman. They're trying to, have this whole gender divide thing, which is crazy because I'm married and I'm not gay. I'm married to a woman and we both voted for Trump 2020 all day long. All right. So this whole thing about, oh, it's the black man's fault. The black woman doesn't want to do it. First of all, why are you talking about fault? If the Democratic Party want to get our vote, maybe they got to earn it. Maybe they got to do things to earn it rather than having these policies that don't work for anybody really in America, but definitely not for the black folks in America. Look at any Democrat-run city right now and see what's happening. Go to the black side of town and tell me how well Democratic policies are working for us. It's to the point where people just think this is what the black community does. This is just them. There's no point in voting Republican. They can't survive by not being on welfare. They got to have welfare. Even though we've been here since before welfare was a thing, they can't survive without welfare. They can't do that. Yeah, we're going to bring in illegal aliens and pay them under the table and give them the jobs that black folks normally have. But that's fine because, hey, man, we got to make money, all this and that. Just a bunch of nonsense from the Democratic Party, as it always has been. But before I go any further, I'm going to read some of this article. I won't read the entire thing. Give me a minute or two in the article and we'll get right back on track. But Maxine Waters did an interview with this guy by the name of Joe Madison on, I think, Sirius XM, where she made those comments. And we're going to look at some of Joe Madison's merch. You can see it right there on the screen before you. And if you're not looking at the screen, I'll describe it for you right quick. This is a t-shirt. On the front, it has 11/3/20. That's election day, of course. Go out there and vote tomorrow if you've not voted already. Vote in person. Go early. Do what you got to do to vote if you've not voted already. But on the back of the shirt, it has the man's logo, the Black Eagle, and it says under that, dump Trump. So you have an obviously anti-Trump guy, black guy, kind of up there in age, probably about 60, 70, something like that. So you got Maxine Waters, who's about 1,000 years old, on this Sirius XM show with an older black gentleman, and they both hate Trump. So you know what the content of the show is going to be. Now I'm going to get to this article. I went ahead a little bit. If you want to read the entire thing, I'll link to that in the description box below. This article's on Revolt TV. And remember, this is Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy's network. So you kind of know the tone of it and how they're going to cover it. But again, this will be in the box below if you want to read it for yourself. But the article picks up right here. It says, the radio host talking about Joe Madison brought up an article that the black men's vote in Florida and other states could tip the election for Joe Biden. Yet he says that it's clear that they are being encouraged to vote for Trump. Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to pause right there. Yes, the black vote can tip the election for or against Joe Biden, for Biden or for Trump, because a lot of these places have had very slim margins of victory for either candidate. And the black male vote, which is like 80, 90% going for the Democrats, if that goes 10% less, 20% less, 30% less, it could change the whole face of the election. All right. We are, in a sense, the swing vote if we don't vote the same way we always have been. But I'll move right along. Quote, they will go down in history as having done the most despicable thing to their families and to their communities and to their mothers and their grandmothers. Waters responded. Now, this is really dog whistling language, basically saying, hey, black man, don't attack your grandmama and your mama. You are voting Republican, but your wife, your mother, and everybody else is not. But that's not necessarily true. Okay, the polls would tell you that that's the case, but that's changing. And the polls at a certain point don't mean that much, but I keep on moving. Quote, because this man is about doing away with Social Security as we know it, and their grandmothers who are sitting there waiting on those Social Security checks every month, or they couldn't eat. Now, I got to pause right there. So Maxine is saying that, hey, black man, your grandmama is poor in the hood, she ghetto, and she need that check every month. But Maxine Waters, you're about 1,000,000 years old. Yes, you've been here since the dawn of man, correct? Okay, so how much do you make per year? You're still in Congress, and you're married to a man who's on the board of a bank, or at least was. How much do you make? You live in Los Angeles, right? You represent, what's that, South Central or wherever you are? You represent kind of a low-income black area in Los Angeles, but you don't live there. You live high on the hog, as I say down here in the South. You live in a nice big mansion. So what are you talking about, Social Security checks? You, grandmama, or you at least you're way above that age. You're 1,000 years beyond the average age of a grandma, and you don't rely on the check. So why should we vote that way because our grandmas do? Like, what part of the game is that? Why can't we be successful and rich and get money and have generational wealth? Or is that not part of the Democratic platform? Oh, okay, I get it, but we'll keep on moving. Recently, rappers like Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Waka Flocka, and Ice Cube have expressed interest in voting for the politician in the upcoming election. Kodak Black too, but I'll move on. The California Democrat wants black men to know that if they are influenced in any way to vote for the Republican candidate, that she finds it, quote, shameful and unforgivable. Quote, he's a racist. He does not have any appreciation for black people. And black women in particular has talked about us so bad. He talked about John Lewis so bad. He has no respect for us. He's not doing anything for us. And for those young black men who think they somehow can align themselves with Trump, not only are they terribly mistaken, any of them showing their face, I will never forgive them for undermining the possibility to help their own people and their communities. It is absolutely unconscionable. It is shameful. Now, that was a whole lot there, but not a lot at all. First of all, helping the communities. Joe Biden's been there in office or on Capitol Hill since what, 1973? Like I've said before, I'm 36. I'm born in 84. My parents, like my mom was still playing with Barbie dolls or just out of the Barbie doll stage in 1973. Okay? So he's been there for that long. What has Joe Biden done? In general, just in government, what has he done? And what has he done for black folks specifically? Corn Pop, the bad dude, roaches. All I hear is insulting language, shaming language. You know, if you vote for Trump, it's shameful and unforgivable. I never forgive you. And then Joe Biden, hey, look, I don't care about no black policies and black questions. Look, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That's what I hear from Joe Biden. And the 94 crime bill as well, where a lot of black men got locked up as a result, who Trump is now freeing some 25, 30 years later. So I'm having a hard time figuring out how voting for the same guy who's been in office since, you know, Jesus is still walking earth. I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense to vote for him and expect to get a positive result. You know, I won't give you the cliche about insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, wanting something different, but that's pretty much what's going on here. Why about I vote for a Joe Biden? Okay, I'm going to vote Trump. Why? You're talking about low taxes, low regulation, which helps black folks get into business. Understand this. If you got a high minimum wage, you know, $15 an hour, $1 million an hour, that's a barrier of entry. If you're coming from a low income area already, you don't have that much money. So if you want to be able to have a business and hire employees, you cannot afford to pay a $15 an hour wage. These dope boys out here, these young boys out here selling drugs, how much do they make? These guys ain't making no money. These guys make less than the federal minimum wage, $3 an hour once you figure everything out, and it's super high risk. I'm talking about risking the life and the limb. A lot of these young guys don't even live to be 21, let alone have success financially in the drug game. These guys making us enough money to eat. They're in their grandma's house in the hood, just being able to buy a pair of Jordans and a hamburger from McDonald's. These guys are not making no money. How about we just have policies that make sense? Because what's happening right now, the Democratic Party makes no sense. Okay? They don't really care about the black community. I'm talking about Maxine Waters, Barack and Michelle, Joe Biden, the DNC. They don't care about the black community. They don't care about Joe Biden because he's obviously halfway dead. They don't care if he dies on the campaign trail. They'll put Kamala Harris right in his place. That's why they've said many times the Harris Biden ticket, heard her introduced recently at a rally or whatever. as the next president, Kamala Harris. They know what's going on. They don't care about anybody. All they care about over on that side, from what I've been able to see, and if I'm wrong about it, let me know in the comments below. But all they care about is power. That's it. And they want to blame you, black man, for not voting for the Democratic Party enough. Going back to what I said earlier about Barack and Michelle Obama, they tried to blame us. Oh, it was your fault when Hillary Clinton lost. You did it, black man. Okay, I can't forgive you. I think Michelle said the same thing. I can't forgive you because you voted for Trump. Or not even that you voted for Trump, because you still had like 92% of the black community vote for Hillary Clinton. Out of those that voted, we still had 92% that voted for Hillary Clinton. That was not enough. We had to come out more. We had to have more of a turnout. And we had to vote all the way for their particular side. And since we didn't do that at a 1,000% rate and 1,000% turnout, then it's our fault. Well, maybe the Democratic Party is at fault, right? They're not doing any kind of outreach. They don't have any good policies. Their candidate is halfway dead. He's terrible, disrespectful, insulting black men on TV. Who wants that? We don't want your gender war. We don't want your race war. We don't want your hateful white liberals, black liberals, green liberals. We don't want the hatefulness. We don't want all the empty promises, broken promises. We want actual progression in the country. And we cannot get that from the so-called progressive party. So we're going to go a different way. We're going to vote Trump. We're going to vote red or independent even. I say vote red, of course. You already know what time it is, Trump 2020. But a lot of us are just going to sit out and not vote, even if we hate Trump, because of what the Democratic Party has not done and what they have done, which has been harmful. So don't blame me, Maxine Waters and Michelle Obama or anybody else. Don't blame me as a black man. Blame yourself. When you are sitting there on November the 4th, November the 5th, and in the years that are going to come after this, you got to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? It's my fault we lost. We didn't do enough. We did not have the ground game. We did not have a good candidate. We didn't have a good party. Don't blame me. Look at yourself. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that the Democratic Party are the reason why black men are voting for Trump? And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. How you feel about what the Republicans have done? It's a lot of outreach. Okay, you got the First Step Act, the Platinum Plan, low taxes, prison reform, cracking down on illegal immigration, because it's kind of like coming in our community, taking our jobs, taking our land away and all this and that. How do you feel about the job that Trump is doing versus what Biden is proposing and what the Democratic Party have been doing over the past 50 or so years? I think there's a really big difference, and I think that you can't make that up by attacking people. That's not how you get me to vote. If you want me to vote for you, don't be like, oh, is you did it and your grandma gonna be mad? Tell me why I should vote. Give me a reason, okay? Give me a policy that makes sense on the Democratic side of things. You can't just say, my government benefits and my check and all of that. Give me some economic prosperity. Give me a way to make something for myself, all right? Let these regulations and taxes and whatnot go so I can just pick up wherever I am and get something going on so I can be part of the American dream. Just let me do that. That's it. That's all I ask. But whatever it is, you got to do more on the Democratic side of things, because what you're doing right now, obviously, is not working on a national level. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.